Okay, so I know sacrifice decks aren't super popular because they are a lot of clicking, but this build's doing some unique things. We're notably leveraging Abiding Grace to leverage getting Ravenous Squirrels and Cursebound Witches back again and again and again. We've got Rite of Oblivion as a flexible answer, and we've got some Yawgmoth Thran positions at the very top end of the curve. You'll note that there's a few miscellaneous black-green pathways in here. That's for occasionally activating the activative ability on Ravenous Squirrel, but at its core, this is just a straight black-white deck. So let's go ahead and jump on into some matches with this and see how this feels. There actually aren't that many Cat Oven decks on the ladder total, so hopefully we can avoid playing mirrors. Honestly, here's my promise to you, chat. We won't play any Cat Oven mirror matches. Although, honestly, this deck's probably favored in the Cat mirror, right? I feel like with 4 Rites of Oblivion, we gotta be ahead there. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe we will play it. I feel like we probably kill them, right? As for the follow Flame Freezes. You think it felt weak in the mirror? Really? Why? Can you explain? I guess we have less card draw because you don't have, yeah, you don't have Trail of Crumbs? Because Shocked Lands hurt you. Well, there's no meat hooks in this build either. Okay. Okay, I accept your premise and I will concede cat sack mirrors. I am doing well, Viking. Thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. Hey, thanks for the Prime Leaf Blade. I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you, so thanks for keeping me around. Meow, chat. That's actually really good for us. Because this is still just a 4-2, so I can actually Yawgmoth, sack these two, kill this next turn. Question's gonna be, is this Yawgmoth happening soon enough? Of course, Spirit Dancer is very scary. Is there any actual removal in my deck? Oh yeah, Rite of Oblivion. If we find a Rite of Oblivion, we could be in this game still, I think. Get a couple of draw steps here. Play a land out. Four Rites of Oblivion in our deck right now. I have a Spell Pierce here. Great for us. Probably gonna have to chump block with this Yawgmoth next turn, or we could just die in the air too. Sacrifice another creature. Cannot sacrifice himself, unfortunately. They have an unblockable one here? They do. Fatal Push is excellent. Vanishing Verse is good. This could be a Thoughtseize matchup. Just for the Follow Blazer. Maybe some of the grindy aspect of Abiding Grace comes out here. Let's try this. Needs a 1-mana creature so we can have sack fodder for the Rite of Oblivion, but once we find a 1-mana creature, Abiding Grace gives us some solid grind. So the 22 months, Nocti, welcome back. Perfect. Thanks, good nuts. Super, super optimistic. Given what they showed us today. Coolio! Thanks for your 11 months. Welcome back. I'll do it again, I swear. Hey, Blazer Raids, thanks for the Prime. I know there's a ton of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me around. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. Yeah, the Jeskai deck was kind of poopy. Well, this is the beginning of our end step? Holy crap, I thought this was upkeep. Wow, that's much better than I thought. That's sick. All right, deal. I'm in. Ship it. Sign me up. No, I knew it went right into... And the fact that this keeps exiling things means that their Luris just doesn't matter, right? My gut instinct was to chastise that person who came in here and asked what deck we were playing and then came in and asked what bans happened and where they could find out about it. I think I'm just gonna ban people like that and ignore it from now on. Like just chat. Oh, chat. We tried so hard and made so many commands, but in the end, it doesn't even matter anymore. Deck command works. MTG bot was working half a second ago. We'll be back in a minute. The point was they didn't even try the commands, so give the bot a second, it'll wake up. Let's turn the quarter over here, babe. They were smart and loaded up a token. I guess we kill this. Thanks for the follow, Philso. It's been 32 months, John. Welcome back. I think we're holding this for after they play out the cat. The person that asked me about linear algebra, that is the only math class during grad school and undergrad that I did not get a B or above in. I'm also a very old man. I finished grad school a decade ago. It's been a while. Thanks for the follow, Wardios. I like differential equations. Calculus was always something I enjoyed. for doing this and naming Squirrel? Oh, this is pick one creature type. I thought this was the other one. I had Crippling Fear in my mind. Durf. Maybe I'm supposed to kill the dog there. Thanks for the follow, Kegrits. Witch's Cauldron, I think. It gives us something to do with our extra Dorkos. I haven't played a land yet for the turn, right? My lukewarm take on Rip is a control is also good. That sounds lovely. Do I want to trade Ravenous Squirrel for Selfless Savior plus one of their threats? I think so. Just Selfless Savior, sure. Morning Possum, thanks for the follow. Had a comp sci professor who would let you send a let me Google that for you link when you asked, who would send you a let me Google that for you link when you asked something in question that he was going to Google the solution to. God bless. He is just preparing you for the work world. I would always make a point when I worked in corporate America, when someone would ask me an Excel question, to Google the question in front of them. So that way they understood that I didn't actually know the answer. I was just looking it up for them. There's a lot of life gain. God, they had so many threats this game. We like exiled 4 of them and they just like have another. It's rough. Okay, that's Yawgmoth. Does that let me do anything, though? So that lets me kill Luris, which can force a chump block on their 4/4, but the 10/9's just killing us in the air, right? I technically haven't played a land for the turn, so I can Yawgmoth and theoretically draw a land and a Rite of Oblivion. Oh, I guess I don't have to block the squirrel there, right? Oh, he technically proliferates. That's funny. I think we're dead here. Said a lot of threats that game. Normally you kill four of the creatures out of the enchantment deck and they can't recover. The fact that they get to play Storm Chaser Drake seems like a really big upgrade for their archetype. Getting to play 12 card advantage engines is really strong. Yeah, the update today is huge. If the alchemy balances we got today are going to be the norm for alchemy rebalances moving forward, it's super exciting for the format. Lot of potential there. Yeah, I am, like, the fact that they buffed everything that they buffed is huge. They rebalancing historic cards. You can check out everything that they're rebalancing and my thoughts on it on YouTube here. My opponent's playing Luris, and we're going to be mulliganing to 5, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and concede this match, because I don't want to play against Auras or a Food Mirror. We're at the Diamond 4 rank floor. The Diamond 4 rank floor is lovely, chat. You just get to concede till you find a matchup you actually want to play. OmniZ, thank you for the 56 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It's been a trip. A lovely start. A lot of mana, but one of them attacks, and these things churn some cards for us. Nice. This brings our friend back. Excited for the new Teferi, but what do we call him now? Yet again, time manipulation becomes a question of grammar more than anything else. What's going on, Machina? Thanks for the over 2 years. Appreciate you sticking around. Lightning. That would be a sweet card to have in Historic. Would Blightning be Historic playable? I don't actually know the answer to that question. What do we think? It's probably not, right? Ooh, Lightning Skelementals like Zoomer Blightning. Yeah, Zoomer Blightning is better. I agree with that call out. Oh gosh, you could Coco into Skelemental. Yeah. Love it. As you will. I assume Abiding Grace is going away since it's like one of my only castables. There's a good chance Rebalance Teferi is playable, which is the ultimate goal, right? Like, their goal is to make these cards be playable and interesting. Busick, thanks for the follow. There are so many bad faith discussion goers around the balancing discussion and nerfing discussion that act like the entire purpose of rebalancing things is to make the cards unplayable, which is just not the case. The purpose of rebalancing things is to make more cards playable while also leaving the ones that are a little bit too strong playable but weaker. The goal of rebalancing is to take decks and cards that are, you know, 10 out of 10s and 11 out of 10s down to like 7s and 8s. If you have a bunch of things that are, you know, 5, 6, 7s, that's a good power level. It means more things can be playable. They're rebalancing without making things playable. Are they just wasting their time? Hey, I don't know. Like, how much time do you think it takes to make these changes, chat? Like, if they make a 3-mana 0/4, a 2-mana 0/3, that should theoretically just be 2 database updates, right? Like, it should not be a big deal to make that change on their back end. Why'd they shock in this land? Yeah, I also think a lot of people don't realize how meaningful of a change a single adjustment can be. Like taking 1 mana off of something or adding 1 point of stats is a big change. It's not big from a what it takes to implement standpoint, but from a impacts it can have on the game and that card are huge. What's going on, Wolfwood? Good morning. That's another good thought, Chef Seth. There's a bunch of different versions of cards that don't ever actually get released. There's a good chance that a lot of these changes we're going to see are simply cards that like looked like this at earlier points in the development process, but ultimately got changed before getting printed for paper. And now they're like rolling some of them back because they realized, oh, we could have had that original text. It probably wasn't a big deal. Or what we ended up going with ended up making it too weak or too strong even. Some of the rollbacks and nerfs might be earlier iterations of things. Yeah, or in the case of Alchemy, you know, they change a card to make it weaker because of draft, and then they can bring it back because they no longer have to consider limited with alchemy changes. You know, people threw a fit about alchemy changes impacting historic. Other formats impact each other all the time. We just don't see it up front. Cards that could have been standard or modern or pioneer or historic staples get changed before they go to print because they were too good for limited. We're just getting to see some of that same type of thing on a live scale, which is neat. Honestly, I think it's neat. As someone who likes to appreciate game design from the outside, I think it's really neat. Hey, Trickanal, thanks for the prime. This is my full-time gig here, and I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you, so thanks for keeping me around. Appreciate the support. Oh, this is a collected company turn, right? All right. Turn on auto order for this deck. What's going on, Meatballs? Thanks for 29 months. Well, for what it's worth, JRC, whenever they rebalance a card, you automatically get the rebalance card if you own the base version of the cards. You don't have to recraft or rebalance cards. We live to please, Trig. One full Hoaglandian. Glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Their board's getting a little scary, but if they don't have a way to exile our squirrels, we remain in an okay spot. Because remember, with these treasure tokens in play, both of these squirrels are incidentally too bigger than they actually look. No, they don't deconstruct the cards when they give you wild cards when they get banned yet. Or they rebalance a card, you get what? If you already own a Hullbreaker Horror, you don't need to now craft the rebalanced Hullbreaker Horror to play it in Alchemy. You get to keep those. I think I'm just gonna take this hit here because I want these treasures to make green mana to use the squirrel ability next turn. I think is my play. So we'll sack this. Give this -1/-1. You should still get wild cards from things banned in Standard, I believe. Is my understanding. So we know attacks here. This is gonna get Ghast back. We gain a life. We get to sacrifice the Ghast again to give another -1 here to get this squirrel back. I have something like an Ephemerate here, because we're super dead to an Ephemerate. I think we'll be getting Ephemerated yet. What's going on, Hot Dog Water? Thanks for the almost 3 years. Welcome back. Ghosted. So I want the extra removal spells here for sure. I was Runeterra this morning. We played some Jace Lux and it was good. We played a little bit of Draven Rubble and it was kind of bad. But we switched off to Jace Lux and that was good again. Yes. I love seeing Landlord Jeff. That's because you're part of the large percentage of Magic people who only watch Magic content to see the creators suffer. And don't feel bad about that. You're not alone. But the reason a lot of people watch Magic the Gathering on Twitch is they want to know that other people suffer just as much as they do. Shared misery is best. It does. Misery loves company, Chip. I think this is I think we dispute here and give them a card. Could just be a fatal push angle. I think we just dispute and kill this, and then the treasure next turn guarantees us the Abiding Grace. It's really good Rotten Agenda. Like I said in the patch review video, I am cautiously optimistic for the future of Alchemy and Magic Arena. Big, big, big potential there. No, the cards that are banned in Standard are still legal in Alchemy in their rebalanced forms. Do I want to use this treasure? You want to put the Witch's Oven into play? Midweek Magic has a play draw rebalance. If you're on the play, your first land comes into play tapped. That's gasoline. That's honestly really exciting to hear too. Something I've talked about for a long time is Magic desperately needs to innovate in that area. So that's phenomenal to hear. Opponent made a pretty big mistake by playing this pre-combat. I get to block and then sack kill the Blade Splicer now. Let's go block. Morning, Gareth. For folks who are regulars, by the way, I will be off tomorrow since the ban list adjustments don't come into play until we have Thursday's update. But I'll be live Thursday and Friday, and Thursday and Friday we will not be doing variety at the end of the stream like we've been doing. We're going to do 3 or 4 Magic decks on both Thursday and Friday. I think we fatal push the Spellbinder here so they can't block this and like lock a bunch of cards out of our hands. Although maybe that's wrong because the Spellbinder dies to the Ghast later. Yeah, it's probably wrong because of the... It's probably wrong because of the Shambling Ghast. Ah, the old Castle Locthwain as our 5th land and it's still tapped. Feels magic, man. Oh, I should have sacked the food, right? gained some life and made this bigger. Oh, they're also gonna get their thing back here, right? Oh yeah, I forgot they had a Prince on suspend. Yeah, flip this. Couple of slops here. We're still in a fine spot, but a couple of slops. No, I'm only doing one historic deck today. And playing a deck right before it gets removed from the format means the content won't be very popular. People want to watch things they can play in the future. Yeah, the Jeskai Blink deck was really mediocre. I mean, the Jeskai Blink deck was phenomenal. That's why we're still playing it here on your screen. Come on, chat. It was so good we stopped playing it after a match and a half. I do not currently have Arceus in my content lineup, no. With Wizards doing a good, I wanna focus on card games a little extra. Aren't any MPJ? Alright. Have to massacre them for 3. Hey, appreciate you dropping off the Prime Abs, Enchant. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, to be fair, I am known WotC shill Jeff Hoagland. It is one of my defining features I am most notable for. I'd also like the record to reflect that our -500 emote was my most used emote from my channel on Twitch last year, so God bless you. Good job, chat. This was the last time Wizards gave me a card reveal. Actual never. And for what it's worth, I don't think Wizards should give content, even if Wizards liked me, which for people that are new, they don't. I think giving card spoilers to people in my content position doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Magic the Gathering preview cards should go to 2 types of people. They should go to people with large audiences outside of Magic the Gathering to encourage more people to check out Magic as a game. And those previews should probably focus on ones that have sweet artwork, because Magic has a lot of sweet art. And they should give previews to smaller content creators to drive traffic to them. I actually don't think giving someone like me a preview card creates a lot of value for anyone involved. They almost assuredly have an ephemerate here, right? That's why they didn't play the Thraben Inspector. That's true. If they ever reprint Liability, they should send me that one. I honestly kind of want to land. Obviously, this is coming into play tapped, but... Watsy cares about psyching up invested people with each new product too. If Wizards wants to psych up their established people with new product, they should just send them product. Like, for example, I work with the Pokemon Company, for people that aren't familiar, because I do a lot of Pokemon Unite, and they have a new TCG client coming out soon, and I told them I'm interested in poking at that, so they're sending me some product from their new set that's releasing next month. Which my boys will be ecstatic for. I have a 6 and a 7-year-old. I love them some Pokemon cards. They are looking forward to the new Pokemon TCG clients as much as I am. Yeah, our deck's doing stuff. We have a lot of game actions. This deck is definitely grindy, like all Cat of Index grind. That's for sure. I don't know if this is more, probably less powerful than the green-black. So it got pushed back from last year, but Pokemon TCG is supposed to be releasing a modern digital client with like a regular crafting style system like these other modern games have. And mobile support. Because like Pokemon TCG has a digital client now, but it doesn't have mobile support. Jacob turns 8 in 2 weeks. Which is kind of wild. The crazier thing to think about is I've been streaming since before Jacob existed. And he turns 8 in 2 weeks. All right, so let's use the squirrel at end of turn to sacrifice the gas to kill the Esper Sentinel. The existing Pokemon TCG client was made by the same people that make Eternal card game. Does that still exist? That probably still exists. So it's definitely made by a smaller studio. Which again, small studio things aren't inherently bad. It's just, you know, they tend to show that it is a small studio. Yeah, this game should mostly be done. We gotta go through the motions here a little bit, but our opponent is dead. If the Digital Monsters card game ever gets a digital client, I will give it a try. There's a strange sense of irony in the Digital Monsters card game not having a digital client. I think they're actually dead this turn, right? I'm gonna take like 80 game actions to get there, but me too, Gandhi. As someone who's been trying to make the adventure mechanic work since Standard 22 was a thing, I am super psyched. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun to play. So, you should rephrase that question. The question you need to ask card game players is, do you think getting combo killed on the first or second turn of the game while you sit and wait to die is fun? That's the question you're actually asking me. They have in fact died, chat. And for what it's worth, some people really enjoy that. And if you enjoy that, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. You go enjoy yourself. I personally do not find that gameplay stimulating. It does not spark joy for me, chat. Thanks for the 2 years, Misha. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back. Blue Watt, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I like Narset Cannon as like a feature of a format that's kind of quirky and silly. I don't like it as every match of a format. So there's a pretty distinct difference between those two things, right? Like, I think card games supporting wacky combo decks as like a fringe feature is neat. When most of your gameplay is that, it loses its luster quite a bit. In my opinion, for me personally. This is the internet, so when I give you a subjective opinion, I need to actually clarify that it's a subjective opinion. No plays on 3 mana? Their hand just poop? You just get a Biting Grace going? Okay, so let's squirrel into Cursebound Witch, into Shock this into Rite of Oblivion, you sack the Witch. I think I'm gonna draft the land. Oh, and it's untapped this time too, look at that. I cast this off the treasure so we have a 3/3 to block Brutal Cathar. The context of the Circle Jerk command is the text of that command verbatim is something someone unironically posted in this Twitch chat. Alright, so Yawgmoth is going away. Little punished for using our treasure token because now we can't cast Yawgmoth next turn. He said before drawing Phyrexian Tower like some kind of golden god. Ah! Ancient Tomb is cracked, chat. Ancient Tomb is cracked. Are we done here? I think we're done here. This deck that we're playing is like super wildcard friendly too, right? Like Yawgmoth's a mythic, but the rest of this deck is like lands that are rares and then commons and uncommons. Historic is basically wait that card's legal the format. Might just kill their werewolf here. Because I'm gonna need to double spell on these turns, so. Wait, Chad, I have a question. If this card is Abiding Grace, does that make Yawgmoth the dude? I don't make the rules, but I think that that's true. Well, that's heckin' rude. Okay, so let's say sacrifice this. Target you. Target you. This deck is so silly. Let's go like Cauldron Familiar, Shambling Ghast. Maybe I'm supposed to get the squirrel back there. The problem with the squirrel is it kills them, whereas Cursebound Witch generates value, chat. This is a reason to wait to get the squirrel back until I can clear the Skyclave out. Okay, so we do this, and we put Yawgmoth on top of our deck. Okay, and then we Deadly Dispute, sack the Black Cat, they discard a card, we draw the Yawgmoth. Okay, then we can play Yawgmoth. Hey chat, you want to see a trick? Did you know this Yawgmoth card has extra text on it? Oh my god, chat! Holy crap! We get to actually just wipe them out. Wait, no, fuck! Fuck! God damn it, Magic Arena! Holy shit! Ah! Auto tapper. Why did it auto tap this after I sacrificed a treasure? I can't take the card out of their hand though. I can't take the card out of their hand though. So, before the auto tapper decided it was going to take over halfway through, how do I, oh, I can kill the Black Cat. Okay, I got you. Target you, sacrifice you. Okay, whew. All right, we had to give up an Abiding Grace token, but we've successfully navigated. We're a little bit behind where we should be. There we go. It would have been really sad if we didn't get to completely dumpster them there. So what I had intended to do before we got interfaced was I had intended to use the two treasures to cast the Black Cat and then use the Phyrexian Tower to sacrifice the cat to make mana to proliferate. And then we'd still have a 1/1 in play. But I guess this will do in a pinch. Oh my gosh, they drew Collected Company. That's fine. That's fine. This is the best draw in their deck. It doesn't matter. Actual best draw in their deck. Oh, I should have played the ovens pre-combat. Oh, I also didn't have to do this, right? Because he's protection from humans. It's fine. Chat, I would like you to soak in how many little mistakes we've made this game, and it actually just doesn't matter. Triats, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. That's good to know. I've really enjoyed it, Precipic. It's one I will be trying more of for sure in the future. No, yeah, you don't have to rebalance cards. Got me. Yes, that is super accurate, Precipic. This is definitely a card that gets more powerful the more cards get into the format. Agree. Alright, sacrifice and kill their things, and then get them. Good stuff, good stuff. I did not say that I hope the tapped land on the play gets into the game permanently. What I said was I'm excited by the prospect of Wizards of the Coast experimenting with balancing the play versus the draw better. There's a chance that first land coming into play tapped is not the right change, but what we know is objectively true is that Magic the Gathering has a very large discrepancy in play versus the draw who's likely to win. So the first step in coming up with a solution to a problem is trying things. So the fact that Wizards is willing to start trying to fix that problem is a good step in the right direction. Will they get the correct solution the first time? No, probably not. But so long as they iterate and they try to improve, we can hopefully end up making the game better. As is the case with many things in gaming, it's a nuanced discussion. There are, for the people that are offering up other suggestions for other play draw balances, you're right. There's a ton of different ways they could balance it, which is why I hope they experiment and try different things and figure out the one that works best by looking at a good data set. This is why I support Jeff. Remember, Vormis, you got that Twitch Prime icon next to your name. If you really want to support me, you get a free sub every month. Jeffrey Bezos pays my mortgage in a roundabout way. Thanks for the sub guest, Vormis. I appreciate it. It's very generous of you. There'll be some ideas you would test first. I think an idea that I like for balancing the play versus the draw is I would like it if the person on the draw started with 8 cards in hand for their mulligans, and then neither player drew a card on the first turn. I think that would be a kind of sweet thing to try. So you basically give the person on the draw a lot more information to sculpt their hand when they're taking mulligans. But again, like, those are just examples of one of many different things you could do or try. Thanks for the Prime, Hooshman. Appreciate it. So the problem with adjusting the life total for play versus draw is that that's really only a change in the aggro games, right? So like in a control mirror, that's not really a meaningful change. Well, I guess we just draft a cat since we already have enough in. Jacanin, thanks for the follow. I think the treasure token suggestion is kind of lazy because it's basically just copying Hearthstone's you get a coin or whatever. I don't know that it's necessarily a bad suggestion, but I think it's lazy. I would hope that they start by being more inventive than that. Is this a Sorcerer's Broom game? It might be a Sorcerer's Broom game, chat. So whichever one of these I don't get back, Clothis gets to exile here. I think I just want to keep drafting. Hey, Socio, thanks for the 3.5 years. Welcome back. Appreciate it. To be fair, I think if Broom conjured, it would mostly be functionally the same as it is now, so. Venture deck when? Thursday. You better believe we're gonna venture into some dungeons on Thursday. Thursday, Friday, we're gonna do 3 or 4 magic decks each day. This is definitely a collecting company I'm not attacking. If we can dodge an Ember Cleave, we're in a great spot. If they have an Ember Cleave, we're probably gonna die. Although I guess we have a little bit of life going in and out, so we might be okay. Scavenging Ooze is kind of scary. It is a lot of graveyard hate. Our opponent does not want to lose to Arclight Phoenix. I think I'm allergic to the Scavenging Ooze chip. Have you played any Esper Reanimator on stream? No, I've mostly not been playing really terrible decks. Reanimator's not an archetype that's competitive in Historic. And honestly, it's funny that someone asked about Reanimator while we're currently playing its main deck Klothys, main deck Scavenging Ooze, main deck Cemetery Prowler. Our current opponent is currently putting on a clinic in why Reanimator decks are not playable, chat. I honestly don't even know that Reanimator is playable in Best of One. Like, there's so many good graveyard decks in the format that it's a heavily contested zone. And the payoff you get for being a Reanimator deck in this format is not high enough to contest with the amount of graveyard hate that you experience. Thanks for the follow, Deb. I mean, it's not even just Arclight Phoenix. While Arclight Phoenix is the best dedicated graveyard deck in the format, there's a lot of incidental graveyard hate as well. We need a Yawgmoth this turn. Okay. That will also do pig. I forgot we had those to draw too. Okay, and just like that, we're in an okay spot, huh? I'm gonna profess to it being a couple of days or a week or maybe since I've looked at Untapped, but I feel like I would have noticed that there was an Esper Reanimator deck. You're making me go check Untapped now. Oh, cute! There is an Esper Reanimator deck that's popped up. What's it doing? Weird. Maybe this is okay in Best of One. I would have expected there to be too much graveyard hate in Best of One. It's definitely not. Yeah, it's a Best of One deck. Okay. I assumed I don't play a ton of Best of One, so I'm not super familiar with it. It doesn't exist in Best of Three. The untapped metrics have a Reanimator deck doing well in Historic Best of One. And that, chat, what I just did there is a good example of how a reasonable adult responds to feedback that goes against their current thought process. When you're presented with new information that runs counter to your worldview, you should not sit there and double down on your existing incorrect view. It's okay to be like, oh, I wasn't aware of that. That's neat to know, and learn and grow. Thanks for the follow, Cookout. We've played Pelt Collector into my Shambling Ghast. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him here. No, we're playing Oven in our actual deck too. So, we talked about this game kind of being a lesson in why graveyard decks can be in a rough spot in general, but it's also a good example of how Cat Oven keeps creature decks down in this format. This game's kind of been a clinic on why Gruul decks like what this opponent has been playing have largely fallen out of Historic. Is there something wrong with Roblox that I'm not familiar with, Seasoned Pyromancer? Because my kids love that stuff. From my cursory glance at it, it all seemed fine. Roblox is super predatory. Okay, so it's just like every other video game out there? That's the industry. Is it doing something unique? Because I'm currently playing Magic the Loot Boxing on your screen. For those who are unaware. The content itself is created by the community in Roblox. Okay. Okay, I'll watch this later, but I would like to prefix my background coming into this to let you know what my biases are, is that I spent a significant part of my teenage years writing game mods for free just because I liked doing it. So, like, giving kids a way to, like, make stuff isn't necessarily bad. In fact, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't had the experience working on game stuff as an adolescent. I don't know. I don't really have a stake in the Roblox thing. All right, we're done. We're done here. Stick a fork in them, shit. The skills they learn are only for their editor. That's just not true. I haven't even looked at their editor or watched their video, and I will definitely tell you that any skills you learn in any one specific video game skill are going to translate to other things. Yeah, proprietary language. The first programming language I learned was a proprietary language, but was specific to Counter-Strike source modding. All right, I'm gonna bring in my removal spells. I think we trim some Yawgmoths here because I don't have a ton of small creatures that he could beat up. And I'm going to trim a couple of Village Rites. Why is Abiding Grace so good? Because 1-mana cards are busted. Abiding Grace is like Luris in that it secretly tricks you into making better deck building decisions because it's like, hey, idiot, play a bunch of 1-mana cards, and then your Magic deck is just better because playing a bunch of 1-mana cards is cracked, chap. Zonk and Ledge, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel this morning. I think I'm going to lead on Cat, because if we draw the untapped land, we'll Deadly Dispute on 2. There's some kind of weird client bug where it hangs when you Fatal Push things. You gotta wait for the corpse to fall. This tramples, so there's no point in block sacking. I'm gonna go ahead and loop the cat here before they play a land, because if they play a green source, they could eat this in response to me returning it. All right, I think we could have missed our... I guess if I squirrel, I have a 3/3. I could definitely see the ecosystem of the average mobile game. It sounds like Roblox just kind of set up like the average mobile game from what people are complaining about in chat. Like giving parents a spin and parents preferring not to touch it. My kids don't actually play Roblox. They like watch some people play Roblox on YouTube for some of the channels I have approved for them. They mostly Minecraft as far as building games go. Yeah, I think that hand was fine on the draw. Like, it was really good if we had a second land. My whole worldview on what's acceptable from a gaming predatory perspective, though, is really skewed, though, because growing up in the economy of Magic the Gathering gives you a really weird outlook. As a Magic the Gathering player, you are primed and ready to experience the mobile gaming market. I remember when we played, for people that haven't noticed, there's this massive shelf of board games behind me, and it's really easy to justify board game purchases when you're like, this board game's half a Scalding Tarn. That's dirt cheap. It's not a big deal. Who cares? And what's funny too is like in board game groups, the like games that cost like $50 plus will sometimes be considered expensive. Like, what's it called? One of the board games Christy and I play a ton is Dice Throne. And to buy a full set of Dice Throne, it costs $80 for a box. It's $10 per character in it. And there's technically 2 boxes of 8 characters. It's $160 for the full set. But the game is basically... Oh, I can actually just sacrifice the oven, right? The game is basically like a bunch of individual decks. So like people that like multiplayer deck games, it's great for. Like it's what we play instead of playing something like EDH because it's self-contained and stuff. The content play is to take the cruel reality. I think that's wrong though. Cruel reality is the content play. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to take Black Cat and make them discard and draw 2. I want you to know I thought about it. I am a coward, chat. We're not blocking warriors today. I apologize. I'm not taking that one. Good golly. This deck is silly, chat. We did take their land with our random discard. Very, very true. Oh, this is sad. They get to eat my Rite of Oblivion here. Dice Throne's really good. If you're someone that wants a casual multiplayer card game experience without a Magic the Gathering price tag, I can't recommend it enough. This message is not sponsored, but Dice Throne, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Let's talk. You also don't have to buy $150 worth of Dice Throne stuff. You can buy, I think they sell 2 character packs. You can like pick it up for $20 just to try it. Anyone drops her in here. Just one. Thanks for the 45 months, D20. Welcome back. They do have a Marvel-themed Dice Throne coming out. I have that one pre-ordered as well. Goodbye, friend. So if you're someone that wants to play the food archetype and you want a little bit of a twist, this seems like a very reasonable one. I actually haven't played the Dice Throne co-op yet, but it is sitting up there on the shelf. I need to get time to break that out and play with the kids. I think the boys would like that one. Now, we did not play against any of the more traditional food deck that's been popular, the green-black version or the Jund. And a couple of people in chat mentioned that they have played that matchup and they felt that matchup was hard. So that wouldn't surprise me. That being said, Rite of Oblivion's a really sweet, flexible answer, huh? Just like answer target problem twice was good. This deck's really good at using Cursebound Witch. This deck really likes a lot of the different cards in this spellbook and uses them reasonably, and getting just like Abiding Grace back the Cursebound Witch again and again and again is really good. Yes, Dice Throne is it's a Yahtzee card game. You have a deck of cards and you draw a hand of them, and then you use the cards to modify and manipulate the dice that you roll. It's a good variance element. Not my year. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Yeah, and I think overall this is actually all commons and uncommons other than Yawgmoth in the main, right? And I think Precipic, hit the nail on the head earlier that I think this card's actually a pretty reasonable craft for Historic, because this is the type of card that like is just going to get more cracked as this deck gets bigger and bigger with its card pool. Like, this is a card that I think only gets more powerful the deeper the card pool in this format gets. All right, at any rate, I would just like to call it for people that are coming in. There's a YouTube video linked there in